Welcome to the Cool Times Podcast. We talk all things cool about the cold storage construction industry. We are back, baby. Another episode, phenomenal episode with someone we've been hunting down a long time. We got him. We got him in studio, not in studio, but we got him here with us.
Yes.
A fellow Wisconsinite, if you will, a fellow Packer fan, a fellow Brewer fan.
Love it.
I believe he went to Madison, if my notes are right. Did you go to
Milwaukee?
Madison? Milwaukee.
Went to Milwaukee. So
just like me,
your alma mater.
My alma mater.
Nice.
Milwaukee Panther in the house.
I like it.
We got Nick Strube, Vice President of FoodTech in the house. Nick, welcome to the Cool Times Podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. Great to see you guys. Been looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, why don't you give our listeners a little bit of your background? I always like to start with that. Who is Nick and who is FoodTech?
Whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm Nick Strube, Vice President at FoodTech, and also an architect by trade. So I kind of worked my way up through the ranks in various design positions.
Mm-hmm.
Also along the way, just kind of taking on any additional tasks wherever I could, learning whatever I could, and in roles that maybe weren't specifically mine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I started in the industry pretty much right out of undergrad. So 2006. So into my 20th year here in the industry.
Same. We are on the same.
You guys are.
Did we graduate the same year out of Milwaukee?
I was 06. What were you?
I was fall of 2005. I was a 4.5 year plan over here.
Close.
So we were close.
Pretty close then.
If I'd have just fumbled a little bit, we would have been graduating buddies. But school got expensive. I'm like, man, I need to get out of here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, yeah, same amount of time, my friend. 20 plus.
Congratulations, you two.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you, Jenna.
Career. That's a nice career in the same industry.
Yeah.
And you look great, by the way.
Well, thank you. So do you guys.
Yeah. I'm hoping everyone tunes in now to the YouTube and watches us.
Yeah, right.
Just complimenting each other. Yeah. You look good.
You look good, man.
It's a good start. I'll take it.
How many peptides in NAD you taking, Nick? You on the peptide train yet?
No.
Not yet. Okay.
No, should I be?
We can go down that road later. There's a lot there's a lot of pharma business out there right now storing those peptides. I mean, it's a whole nother industry out there like data centers, but we can get into that later.
Yeah.
More about Nick and more about FoodTech, please.
So yeah, a little background on FoodTech. We're a design build firm that specializes in the food and beverage industry, solely in the food and beverage industry. So cold storage, food production, everything along those lines is right in our wheelhouse. And seeing the project from the very early stages all the way to C of O. So we like to work with our clients to, figure out how they can grow their business, figure out the goals for their project, space they have to work with, everything that's going to go into it, and then basically help them, develop a good plan right at the outset so we can, relay that to our design team, take that through construction documents and permitting into construction and have a nice seamless project from beginning to end.
We love those seamless projects.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, Nick, it's hard to do because it's unique we're excited to have you on the show because, we see a lot of people that are in the 3PL space and building big box warehouses and you guys are so unique to food construction, right? Cold storage, food processing. And that is a whole nother animal, building cold storage warehouses. Yep. Building food production. Man, it's like on another pillar. Do you want to talk a little bit about the differences between constructing a food processing building versus a cold storage warehouse?
Sure. When it comes to food production, I mean, there's a lot higher level of sanitary design that's involved with that. And depending on the industry, you're going to run into various levels of those sanitary requirements, depending on their inspections, how everything is produced and, the whole process from raw product in, produced, packaged, and then out the door. We do everything, dairy, meat production, fresh cut, even some powder packaging projects. So there's a pretty wide range of projects that we do and that we're open to doing And a lot of the sanitary design is relatively consistent from one to the next, with little nuances from, between the different industries. There's definitely a very close attention to detail that's required to make sure everything's buttoned up for the appropriate level of washdown and, things of that nature. Where, on the distribution side, there's still the food safety, there's still other things that you have to be cognizant of, but you're not doing the full washdown in the warehouse. It's a little more flexible with some of the layouts, for that type.
Yeah, we've been in a part of a number of those projects, and I would always tell, I would be like, Jenna, like, I can't even put these two walls in because we're waiting on equipment from Europe that needs to come in and like get into the building and into this room. And we can't close off the building until this, $15 million process equipment gets installed because it shows up already assembled and huge. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of moving parts with all the different subs on
for sure.
So how do you manage, how do you juggle all that? I mean, you got MEP on top of each other, and I mean, there's a lot there. How do you manage that?
There's some careful coordination for sure, and some careful sequencing with our project managers, laying out the schedule and, understanding what everyone needs, when they need it by, and planning accordingly and adjusting when things don't quite go according to plan. You do hit delays with equipment, lead times can be all over the place. But as long as you understand what needs to happen, when it needs to happen, and who you need information from, that's the key to it. And then is managing that process to you either light the fire when you're not getting the information that you need, or whatever the case may be, addressing it as it comes.
Do these buildings, like I would imagine, and of course you can speak to this, but you have to consider, like, if you're bringing in raw ingredients, you're making something, you have a finished product, like there has to be a flow to the way that moves throughout a building. Like, talk a little bit about that. And then have you ever had it where either a client or building's design and you could see it right away? You're like, nope, this is going to disrupt the whole flow. What do you do then?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, it's kind of interesting because in architecture school, it was all like very grandiose projects, and coming into, more of an industrial building type, especially coming out of undergrad, it's like, okay, it's not the most glamorous, but, once you get to learn some of the ins and outs of it and the design issues that do have to be addressed, and what you just hit on, Jenna, I mean, with the flow of product, even employee circulation and things like that,
that's
to make
true.
sure,
I didn't even think about that.
They're not having to walk all over the place to get from point A to point B. If everything can be in close proximity, they're more efficient. That's less time wasted between punching in, gowning up, and entering the production space. A lot of times, as complex as these buildings can be, and as much of a jungle as they can look like sometimes,
that's a great word for it.
Oh, God, yeah.
The flow of a lot of it is fairly consistent from one project to the next. Everything comes in raw, it gets stored for a little bit until it's ready to go into production. From production, it goes into packaging. From packaging, it gets stored and then sent out the door. So in some cases, it might be a nice linear flow where you can just start on one end and you end up at the other end.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might not have the space for that. So perhaps you have to entertain, a U shape. So you finish up near where you started. You just kind of bend the flow that way.
Absolutely. And from my experience with food processing, everyone has different levels of washdown and different levels of chemicals, and all these things need to be taken into consideration when choosing your wall types, right? Or your ceiling types, whether you're just doing a normal white poly panel, or you're doing a plastisol finish, or you're doing a stainless steel panel, which all three have their advantages and disadvantages. So, right? I mean, how much of that do you take into consideration?
It's a pretty significant consideration, and it needs to come pretty early on as well, because I mean, you want to be cost effective with your building materials, but you can't have the finish wearing off because the chemicals are eating away at it too. Right. So that's a question we try and get in front of pretty early on the project to understand those wash down procedures, what kind of chemicals they're using, and then, consulting with, companies like yours to, get that feedback on, okay, what's the appropriate finish here that's going to hold up to this list of chemicals that they use.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So FoodTech is, you guys are based out of the Northeast, right?
Yep. The headquarters
is in where?
Rockland, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston.
Yep. And you're in Wisconsin.
That's right. Brookfield, just outside of Milwaukee.
Man. Yep. Right where we all grew up.
That's right. It is. When we were talking offline, I'm like, oh, you got to be a big Brewer fan. Brewers are good this year, like we're on fire. And he's like, yeah, I just went to the game. We were on the Jumbotron.
So cool.
That's right. Yeah. Sunday's game. My wife and I, they're going to take me out to the ball game.
Yes.
We got
very
up there. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
I love it.
That is cool. You get to a lot of games?
I get to maybe 3 or 4 a year.
Sure.
Yeah. So I've been to, this was my second this year.
Right on.
Is it still,
yeah, it's a good time.
I mean, we all grew up there. Is it still like the tailgate makes the experience?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still parking lots full, well before game time. Everyone's playing bags, having some drinks, pre-gaming. Taking a road beer up to the.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that he calls it bags
before you head in.
Because that's what it's called.
That's what it's called. Everyone calls it cornhole.
No,
I started calling it cornhole because people make fun of the way I say bags.
Yeah, they do make fun of us of that.
Yeah. The accent comes out of me every now and again. If I have too much wine or tequila. Oh, you betcha, it'll come out.
I mean,
I don't really think
with an office in Boston. With an office in Boston and one in Wisconsin, we have some pretty good discussions. Who's got the thicker accent?
Oh, yeah, I bet. What is the consensus?
Midwest. I mean, I think they have the thicker accent, but there's certain words they call me out on all the time. Yeah.
Boston.
We get a few of those words here.
Boston. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to emphasize the Wisconsin.
Boston. I usually sound like a Borat when I try to do accents.
You definitely do.
Or I go Jamaican. Yeah, I'm on.
No, you should not try to accents.
I'll try not to. So, Nick, being in the Wisconsin office, you're VP of FoodTech. What is your day-to-day looking like these days?
I have my hand in a little bit of everything here. Primarily working on the pre-construction side. Still involved on design quite a bit. Working on planning studies, conceptual designs, kind of doing that upfront design work, trying to lay the groundwork for the clients, define their project, define that scope of work. But then since 2020, I've actually managed the Milwaukee office here. So, working with the local team, making sure everyone's got a good plate full of work to work on, see if anyone needs resources as deadlines are coming up, things like that. And since September was the promotion to VP. So I've been working with Bob Ross a lot more in every different aspect of the company at this point. So that's been a good challenge. It's been really exciting. So
that's great.
Bob's a great dude, and he's been around a long time. We were trying to get him on the show, and Bob's like, I don't think this is for me anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you let Nick do it. I'm like, no offense, Nick. Hey,
I think it was before we knew about the promotion, though, too. So
it was before I knew you were in the Brookfield office. Huh? I thought you were in Boston for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And shame on me, I guess.
Shame on you.
Should have known.
Research.
Should have known better. That's okay.
Tell me, Nick, what was it? So you've been in the industry for about 20 years. What makes you stay in it?
I think it was one of those things, it started off as an intro job, out of undergrad. I was, struggling a little bit with the job search initially. Yep. I had a buddy who happened to work at a design build firm in the industry. He said, hey, we might be hiring if you're interested. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So he helped me get my foot in the door there. And then, after a while, you get to learn more and more. And pretty soon you can take the lead on construction documents. You can take the lead on a project, and you just kind of keep honing that craft until it's like, hey, this is pretty interesting, and it's kept my interest. And Like I said earlier, I've been able to kind of branch out beyond the design department too and assist with some of the project management tasks or estimating and things like that, and just kind of keep learning about all different aspects of it. And it's been a good thing.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite or an aspect that like you really look forward to? Because obviously starting with the design, I think that's pretty fun. But do you have an aspect that maybe surprised you that you enjoy?
I do enjoy the upfront design, kind of getting that vision down on
Mm-hmm.
paper.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting, and presenting that to the client, and then kind of letting the ideas start to flow from there.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that part of it, and forming that initial relationship with the client as well. Getting things off on a good foot, starting the relationship off strong.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sets the tone for the project. So I've definitely enjoyed, the upfront side of it. I don't know if there's anything that's necessarily surprised me about
Mm-hmm.
it, or any specific aspect,
How about walking
but
into like, because you guys do renovations, right? I mean, so I'm assuming
oh
you've
yeah,
walked plenty of food
time.
plants, plenty opportunity to walk through older
Yeah.
facilities, food processing, possibly, kill plants. And, I've seen some very intense things where like I almost quit eating certain food.
Yeah.
So do you have any wild stories about any past job walks where you're young in your career and you're like eye-opening moment?
I don't know if there's anything that's really kind of scared me out of eating it or anything along those lines, but I've always kind of looked at it like, back when I was a little kid watching Mr. Rogers, every now and then he'd show you a video of some kind of factory tour.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like going through a factory tour, but in
Yeah,
person, and seeing that how it's made kind
Yeah.
of informal tour. Only this is the
sure.
place you're going to be working in and expanding the business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
So
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because I've driven through
yeah.
many, chicken facility towns, if you will, and you can smell the town, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's definitely some where you're a little bit surprised by what you see, and yeah,
Yeah,
whether it's the strong odor or
sure.
just like even in some cases like wow, they make food here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
But
we're here
Yep.
to
Make it better.
yeah,
make this building better.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So with food processing, I always find it interesting when you're washing down and like you start looking at like a base detail of a wall and you're dealing with bacteria and E. coli outbreaks and you're right, or listeria, cross contamination, and you want to eliminate anywhere where there's like resting ponding water,
Okay.
right? Water sipping into joints and leaking into joints and staying there and growing
Yeah.
bacteria. Do y'all like to do concrete curbs that are like elevated from finished floor, or you bring those panels below slab for a better, tighter finish where you're butting into like a mud slab, or like what's the ideal design there with in a heavy wash down?
Personally, I like to run the panel down below the slab to just give
Mm-hmm.
that clean break. I mean, especially if there's refrigerated conditions, it's something that has to be addressed, just as part of the thermal envelope.
Sure.
It kind of varies client to client. Some say absolutely no walls can touch the floor, so they need that concrete curb base detail where the panel
Which
sits
is a
right on
hard
top.
detail, by the way. Very hard to
It's not
pour.
easy.
Hard to
Yeah.
pour. Hard to, from my experience, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got to look at the door openings, what goes there, right? For like the
Yeah.
overall rough opening size and what's the jam detail look like and how you going to finish that off. It turns into
Yeah.
a nightmare,
It is, and we don't actually see that very often anymore.
right?
We had a project fairly recently, which was actually the first time I've actually had that one of my projects.
Mm,
But no, otherwise we've typically taken the approach to run the panel down and then install the curbs like you would anywhere else. But then with the resinous flooring, you have to run that up the side of the curb. You cove the base of it. You can still accomplish what you need to from a sanitation standpoint.
sure. And for all our listeners out there, if you don't know much about the food processing construction process, It's intense in regards to going into a facility early on in the construction phase, because oftentimes you get to work on, a mud slab or clean concrete or whatever. But with this, and when you're running walls down to a strip footing, you have so many plumbing lines and trench drains and PVC pipes coming up from the ground, that you eventually need to tie into that are, you can put all the little pink bands and yellow tape you want on it, but avoiding all of those ditches and pipes and PVC, I mean, it's like playing Tetris inside that building when you're a subcontractor trying to get up to the deck, right? Trying to run main lines for all your MEP, setting wall panels. I mean, you name it. These jobs, so people it usually takes 3 times longer from a labor standpoint from any trade to do a process job than it is a conventional cold storage warehouse. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. For sure. To that point, we've really pushed Revit and the whole 3D modeling aspect of this and pushing the clash detection.
Yeah,
pushing the clash detection side of it to get ahead of all that, and see, well in advance when there's conflicts or pipes running where they shouldn't be, or multiple pipes, conduits, and everything else that might be intersecting, so that we can avoid those headaches for you in the field.
That's very important. Yeah. Well, Revit and BIM, all that stuff's amazing, because when you start going 3D and you can actually, I almost feel like virtually you're putting yourself in the building. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the technology where you can wear like the VR headset and you actually put yourself in the building and look around and walk around, right? And you get a kind of feel for where door openings are, and logistically, like, hey, this guy has to walk from here to here to do that, but that door has high traffic, and that is going to be a problem, safety issue, if you will, right? So like pipes, right? Obstructions with goalpost bollards and door openings, and man, there's so much that goes into it. It's so cool that technology is being used to prevent all those future, like you get to the field, like, all right, RFI time, there's something in the way, it just really slows a project down. So you get a good jump on that, you guys. Is that the deal?
We do. Even with our construction managers out in the field, they all carry iPads. They all have access to the 3D model within Procore. So they can do exactly what you were just talking about, Vince, where you can kind of do this virtual walkthrough, so they can be out in the field, place the camera in the model exactly where they're standing, hold up the iPad and look around to, at any stage of the project, whatever's going to be built there, they can see the finished conditions, as it's being built.
That's cool.
That just makes you so much more efficient.
Oh, it does. I mean, do you guys promote that on your website? You guys got anything that our listeners can log on to, go visit a YouTube thing where they can see you guys doing that on a project?
I don't know that we have any specific video that shows that in particular. We do promote, pushing technology in general, be it pushing the 3D model, 3D scanning. Honestly, a lot of it's moving very quickly now with how it's advancing. So we're keeping tabs on a lot of it with where we can implement certain things, and just keep that project process as efficient as possible.
Sure.
Our thanks to RITEC High Performance Doors for supporting the Cool Times podcast. RITEC doors provide high-speed performance plus high-tech safety features.
They're customized to offer outstanding operation and energy efficiency for cooler, cold storage, and many other commercial applications.
RITEC. Quality, performance, reliability. Why settle for less?
This episode is brought to you by Fastener Systems, Inc., otherwise known as FSI.
Serving the entire cold storage industry, FSI is your go-to source for high-performance fasteners and thermal supplies.
Built to last, trusted by pros. Let's get to work.
I haven't seen much from the door industry, right? The high-speed door industry. I mean, stainless steel doors and rapid roll doors, that technology's really been kind of the same, I want to say, for the last 8 years. Like, I haven't really seen anyone do anything different.
But do they need to?
I don't know. I guess you don't know until you don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I mean, you?
Yeah, I haven't really noticed much change on that front either.
Mm-hmm.
So no, some of it seems if it's working, it's working. Maybe there's, nominal kind of improvements in it over the years, but nothing that's like a huge game changer on that front.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys at FoodTech have anything that you're really excited about right now? Do you have a project you're working on? You could keep as many details under wraps as you need to.
Sure.
But I just always like to ask that question, like what the company has going on that feels really exciting.
Yeah. Well, as you guys know, in this industry, the work can kind of ebb and flow.
Yes.
And for a while, there were projects on the horizon, just not quite ready to move forward.
Yes.
And
We're
they're moving
familiar.
forward now. Yeah. Just over the last month now, they seem to be hitting. So things
That's
are picking
amazing.
up really good. So it's exciting going into summer. We're getting pretty busy.
Awesome.
And, even aside from the project standpoint, we make it a point periodically throughout the year to get together within the company, whether it's departmental meetings
Yeah.
or as a whole company, because we do have, an office in Massachusetts and one in Wisconsin, and then a few people working remote. We're engaging regularly on Teams, but we don't always have that face-to-face interaction. So we plan these times throughout the year. Like I said, sometimes just departments. This summer, we're doing a full company meeting.
Oh, cool.
But we get that camaraderie of the full team getting together. We share lessons learned from the past year, talking through things so that, if there's tough lessons learned, hopefully we're only learning them once and we can share them with the team so that everyone can see it coming, next time, and we can address it earlier.
Sure.
That's always pretty exciting too when we can get the team together like that.
Well, yeah, you grow your company culture and your relationships, and maybe even create new connections if your company is growing, and you can put faces with names if you haven't met before. Like that kind of stuff is really important. So that's awesome that FoodTech has that plan for y'all.
Yeah.
If I'm a new, processor and I'm meeting with FoodTech and I give you my idea design, hey, this is what I have going on, this is what I want to build. How long does it take till I would see architectural floor plan of my vision of what I need? How long does that process usually take?
Depending on the complexity of the project, if it's someone looking to build an addition or maybe do a renovation onto an existing building, we start off with a questionnaire to just kind of get the overall scope of what they're trying to accomplish with this project. And then once we understand, the intention behind the project, what they need to get done with it, then we can start putting pencil to paper. Initially it's diagrammatically, and then from there, once we're aligned with what we're laying out, then we can start adding some detail to the drawings. So it can be anywhere a month to 2 months, if it's a little more complex project with a lot of spaces. But we generally hold weekly meetings to keep in regular contact, make sure we're on the right path with everything. We're sticking within their goals, within their budget, schedule, and things like that. Yeah, that 1 to 2 month time frame is, I'd say, pretty typical.
Right on. And then if I'm sure you guys meet with a lot of new prospects that come through that front door, say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. What's the big selling feature that FoodTech really just pushes hard and pushes home to ring them in, if you will?
Yeah. The big selling point for us is that we can see the project from that very early stage of someone knocking on the door to when they're moving in and pushing product out the door. Developing the overall planning documents, developing that early estimate and schedule, and then, having the full team of architects and engineers in-house, project managers, construction managers. We all offer feedback basically through every phase of the project, so that we're not working in silos in one phase to the next. We're getting that feedback so the CMs can weigh in on, maybe it's staging materials on site or, kind of developing a plan like that earlier than just getting handed the CDs and saying, okay, now go build it. they've seen well in advance what's coming, and they've already started planning for it.
Nice. What's the coolest project you've ever been a part of at FoodTech?
Pun intended.
Yeah. No pun intended. On the Cool Times podcast, we want to hear about a cool project.
One of the, I guess I consider it a cool one because it turned out really, really well, but actually the smallest project I've worked on was the most challenging. And
that's how they are, Nick.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, this one in particular was repeat client. We've had reached out about an ice cream freezer that had a wall that was pretty well compromised due to vapor leaks. It was built as an addition next to a block wall building back in the 70s. The panels that were used were nothing like you see today.
Yeah.
So
cork.
it wasn't far from it.
Yeah.
But there was enough vapor leaking from the warm side over to the panels that there was a foot of ice that had built up between these and it was just busting the wall panel apart.
Sure.
A foot of ice.
Oh, yeah.
It reached a point they said, guys, we need to do something about this, but we don't quite know how to do it. In addition to the wall needing to be repaired, there's racking right up to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
And about 5 feet in from the racking, there was a conveyor also operating that needed to stay in operation during the repair.
Mm-hmm.
So we had about 5 feet to work with to replace a 30-foot high wall.
Wow.
And we were scheduled to start spring of 2020, which of course the world was going crazy at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
I remember that.
we're getting ready for construction and now it's all, okay, we got to stay 6 feet apart. No, we don't now. Subcontractors all had different thoughts about what we had to do. You know, this, are we essential? Are we not? So there was a lot of challenges that went along with that one, you know, not to mention opening up the building in early summer, you know, during 70, 80 degree weather. Now we had a good partition between the operating ice cream freezer and the construction space. So we limited that risk there, but it was one of those things. There's a ton of product in that freezer. If that went sideways, that'd be bad for all parties involved.
A lot of money there.
So, yeah. So,
and I love
it was
ice
all
cream.
said and done.
Yes.
I know, right?
Yes, we're aware.
But no, when it was all said and done, we got it done. We got the wall replaced. The thermal envelope is nice and tight now. Got the racking back installed, and they're doing what they need to do. So,
who did the panels on that? I want to give them a shout out to that. Who did the panels?
Fisher.
Oh,
Fisher
nice.
Thermal.
Sure. Yeah. Shout out to them, man. Love it.
It was out in their neck of the woods, so they
That's right.
You know, did job walks with us, and
way to go.
Yeah.
Dave Reinhardt, baby.
It was Dave. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dave's a beauty. Well, I love that team. That team's great. Good folks over there in the good old Northwest.
Mm-hmm. If our listeners want to see what FoodTech is doing, follow y'all. Where would they find you? Where would they find out more information about what's going on?
Yeah, they can start with foodtech.com, our website, LinkedIn. We have FoodTech page on LinkedIn, as well as some of the major trade shows. You know, Pack Expo, we're at every year. We'll be back there again this year. And then locally, we've engaged more with some of the groups throughout Wisconsin, Wisconsin Cheesemakers Association, as well as Food and Beverage Wisconsin. Yeah. Both those groups hold regular events that we're attending, and I was looking to, you know, meet a lot of the local companies and introduce ourselves and get
Build
that presence here in Wisconsin.
Right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. That's great.
Right on. Yeah. Are you guys going to be going to SEBA this year?
Yes, it's on my calendar.
Hey.
I know the guys that went last year just raved about it. So
yeah,
that's what I'm actually really looking forward to.
Is Adam going out?
I believe he is. Yeah, I know he went last year, and I think he's pretty gung ho about getting out there again.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, hopefully you can make it out there. It's a great conference, a great network.
For nothing but great things. So I'm like I said, it's on my calendar, so I'm planning on it.
I love it.
I love it. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
All
well,
right.
hey, Nick, before we let you go, I would love to ask you a round of this or that questions to let our audience learn more about you.
Sure.
And allow me to take this 30-second break to thank our sponsors. Without them, Nick, we don't get to do this fun production room. If I could wave my camera around, you would see all the soundproofing and lights that make me look way better than I really do look in real life. Jenna doesn't need any of that, obviously. She just wakes up and looks like that. In all seriousness, thank you guys, sponsors and listeners. If you guys are listening right now to this show, just know that we love you and appreciate you. This is awesome. This is this is why we do it. It's fun. So without further ado, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Nick. Pre-construction meeting at 7 a.m. or a client dinner at 7 p.m.
Dinner at 7.
All right. You call or email guy?
Depends on who it's going to.
I like it. I like it because some people need it a certain way.
That's right.
I know, right?
You answered that so politically correct.
Call, you can pretty much address whatever you need to.
That's right.
Very quickly. Just get it right there.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
if it's Adam, we'll just email
something.
him like Adam do. We'll just email you. Don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah.
That's right. Teach a construction class or mentor somebody one-on-one.
Say mentor one-on-one.
All right. Beach vacation or a mountain cabin getaway?
I go beach.
You have to. You live in Antarctica.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Oh. Has it warmed up yet by you?
Oh, this week is beautiful. It's like 80 degrees right now.
Oh, I love that.
That's great.
Yeah. No, it's really nice right now.
Yeah. And I remember the humidity kicking in right around end of July.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty solid right now as well.
I love that. Awesome. All right. Early bird or a late night grinder?
I'd say more so early bird.
Right on. Like that.
Yeah.
we need to change the word grinder there.
Yeah, that one's bothering you.
Bothers me. Anyways, team call with the camera on or camera off?
Always on.
I love it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I think you answered this during the show, but do you like the blueprints like on paper or digital?
You know, the digital is nice, but I think you still need the paper prints.
Sure.
Having that full size set.
Oh yeah, that's right.
On your desk or in the trailer, you see the full picture that way.
There you go.
The digital is nice because you can hop around the different drawings, pretty easily, but it's also easy to get locked in on one spot and kind of lose sense of the full picture sometimes.
There you go.
I'll go paper. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's go air hockey or ping pong?
Ping pong.
Cold beer or cold drink?
Definitely cold beer.
Let's settle some Wisconsin argument. Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers?
Ooh.
That is a tough one. Neither of them left on great terms.
I know.
But so many good moments for both of them.
They never do, right? They never do.
That's true. And Giannis is following the same footsteps now.
I know. Yeah, that's right.
I know.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess you got to love Favre and the grittiness.
That's my guy right there. I got to meet him.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, this last year. Yeah, the Cowboys game. Yeah. He did a little meet and greet, and
nice.
Yeah, I have all his signed jerseys, but his Jets and Viking jersey I don't have signed.
Because we're Packers fans.
Fine, but I still love Favre, and I brought him there. He signed him, talked to him. Awesome guy. It was great.
That's cool. I have signed pictures both of Favre and Rodgers, which at one point I hung on my walls with pride, and at one point with both of them I had to take them down. So,
that's right.
It's turned into almost a wall of shame, but time heals. It'll be all right.
Jeez. All right, let's
maybe a little harsh.
I know.
No,
I hear you. Yeah. Let's end with the grand finale here. Are you Yellowstone or Landman?
I have not watched either.
Oh, another one that.
Well,
all right, fine. I'm gonna switch. I'm switching it up. Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber?
Go Timberlake.
Yeah, Timberlake. Wish I had a turntable right now.
Yeah, you don't.
No, we're good.
So glad that you don't.
That's funny. Nick, you are the man. You are the man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
me. FoodTech. Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. This was fun. I appreciate you having me on, and appreciate the discussion, and she'll be chatting soon.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you at SIBA.
We look forward to seeing you soon, and I'll make sure we get out for a round of golf. All right.
All right, that sounds great. Look forward to it.
Nick, thank you so much for being on the show, and to all of our listeners, thank you so much. We love you, and until next time on the Cool Times podcast, we're out.